Black people in America are not African and have no connection to Africa. We're Native Black Americans. That's one. The second one is Black people in America may be genetically African, but so is the entire planet. Everybody on Earth is African. That's two. The third one is African people on the continent don't refer to themselves as Africans. We're the only ones who call ourselves Africans. That's three. And the fourth one is Black Americans are the only ones who practice Pan-Africanism. Those are the four most common kind of like retorts that we hear. And they always say, well, Baba James Smalls agrees with us. Like,
well, Baba James Smalls is going to tell him I don't agree to none of that shit I just heard. And then give it a name like Foundation of Black America. Don't label me with slop. Now, if you use that because you're trying to find an identity, I'll help you with that. Because you deserve to have your own identity, like everybody.
Yes.
But don't bring the same white slop along saying you're anti-African, you're not African, you're not from Africa. That's the white slop that they've been trying to push in our brain from day one.
Yo, what's up, Pan-African Unity? Hey, yo, I'm back again with another video. First and foremost, I want to shout out Afro Think Tank for dropping a classic maybe about 2 weeks ago. And this video here was Dr. James Small speaking up against this FBA thing, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy that finally one of the elders came out and spoke up on the nonsense that Tariq Nasheed does. If y'all have been paying attention to my channel, I posted maybe about a couple years ago a video where Dr. Small sat down on a little Zoom thing with Tariq Nasheed. But in that interview, yes, he called him out, but he never directly denounced the FBA movement. He sort of panted around it. So when I seen this video that Afro Think Tank dropped, I was hyped. I'm like, yes, at least one of the elders are speaking up against this stupidity. And what I've been saying for years, that this thing is stupidity that they're doing. These are just a bunch of uneducated Negroes who are sitting back and getting grifted. If anybody thinks that Tariq Nasheed is serious about this movement or he's serious about this thing, just go down my page or go down Afro Think Tank or go down all the other brothers and sisters who are on YouTube who are showing the contradictions. Can't nobody just change overnight. Can't nobody go from being Pan-African to loving Africa to all of a sudden just wake up one morning and say, oh, you know what, we ain't African, we Native Americans.
Come over here and you ain't a coon and you trying to put some things together. When we start talking international, just like with Malcolm, Malcolm started going over there to Africa, trying to put some things together. They're like, uh-oh. When Malcolm was trying to link us up with them internationally, they're like, okay, we need to go get the Autobahn Theater popping.
This shit makes no sense, and if people had common sense, then they'll be able to see the nonsense because the proof is right there. But you know, one thing about us as black people, we don't like to go do the research ourselves. We'll just rather sit back and hear it from somebody else. The same way all through the school years in the educational system, we were taught to hate ourselves pretty much and taught that we were slaves and all of this stuff. And no one wanted to go do the research to see what are they really talking about. But that's neither here nor there. This Pan-African unity against anything, man. Like, I stand for my people all over the world. Once you black, I stand for you. And we're supposed to know that we are all Africans. We're supposed to uplift each other instead of bringing each other down. And anything that goes against that, I'm against it. So it is what it is. I'm gonna keep speaking truth to my people and let them know. This is Pan-African Unity. Y'all check this video right here. I'll come in with some more at the end.
There are four sentiments that are often expressed by our young brothers and sisters when we engage them, our FBA family, and they are our family. And when they express them, what they'll say is, well, like Baba James, he aligns with us, but I want to share these four sentiments with you, and I can do it one at a time, or I can give you all four, and I want you to be able to just respond.
All four, and I can respond.
We hear being expressed by some of our brothers and sisters. The first one is, Black people in America are not African and have no connection to Africa. We're Native Black Americans. That's one. The second one is, Black people in America may be genetically African, but so is the entire planet. Everybody on Earth is African. That's two. The third one is African people on the continent don't refer to themselves as Africans. We're the only ones who call ourselves Africans. That's three. And the fourth one is Black Americans are the only ones who practice Pan-Africanism. Those are the four most common kind of like retorts that we hear. And they always say, well, Baba James Smalls agrees with us. Like,
well, Baba Jamestone's going to tell him, I don't agree to none of that shit I just heard. Because none of it makes sense. And it alludes to the ignorance of not knowing your history. We left that to the enemy. And now we mad with our brothers and sisters because they didn't stay there and died and starved to death. No, we have to get our brains straight. We have to understand what being an African means. You know, the melanin is essential to our Africanization because we are the universe itself, yes. But being an African means the thing we describe as God, that's what being an African means. That thing we call the divinity, that's the character of the African itself. That's our culture. And people are afraid because that means you got to change your little black behind into something better than what the white man has created you to be. You're going to give me the white slop and then give it a name like Foundation of Black America. Don't label me with slop. Now, if you use that because you're trying to find an identity, I'll help you with that. Because you deserve to have your own identity like everybody.
Yes.
But don't bring the same white slop along saying you're anti-African, you are not African, you're not from Africa. That's the white slop that they've been trying to push in our brain from day one. Throw that slop out, empty and wash your bucket, and let us bring some real black stuff up in there. Let's talk about Martin Delaney. Let's talk about Booker Washington. Let's talk about Ida B. Wells. Let's talk about Harriet Tubman. Let's talk about Sojourner Truth. Go back in our history. Every organization that we formed from the 1700s forward was called the African something. Every damn one. Prince Hall.
African Masons.
Free African Lodge. 1749 or someplace up there. Richard Allen, Absalom Jones, the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church, the African Methodist Church, the Black Baptist Movement, the African Baptist Church. This is all back in the 1700s, okay? By the time we hit the 1792, Malcolm didn't invite the Afro-American nothing. In 1892, a group of black women out of Rochester, New York, formed the Afro-American League, headed by T. Thomas Fortune. Okay, we had the United African Societies. This is all in the 1800s. So they need to study some history.
Yeah.
We never stop identifying ourselves as African. Not one moment, not one day, not 1 hour. You know? And so I understand the hurt that some of them feel, but a lot of this hurt is out of the ignorance. Our brothers and sisters from the continent is being murdered and killed by the same cat on Wall Street that's murdering and killing us.
Yes.
They're just doing it long distance or got some surrogates. They have impoverished them just as they have impoverished us. All the Europeans and others stepping off of a boat every day as immigrants, you got no issue with them? But you got an issue with your brother and sister who's trying to survive and come and wake and make a little bit of money and send back home to keep his mama medical bills paid? And to send his little brother and sister to school somewhere? Yes, there's a problem. He doesn't know you and you don't know him. So then that should be what our work should be about.
Man, oh man, oh man. Need I say more? Man, I'm just so happy that Dr. Smalls, Baba Smalls came out and spoke that truth. And I hope that all y'all FBA members out there can open up y'all eyes and digest everything that he said. And I'm glad he came, because sometimes, you know, niggas don't understand until you get disrespectful. So I'm glad he kept it straightforward with y'all. And if y'all took it as disrespect, then that means y'all ignorant. So I hope that y'all go do y'all research so y'all won't spread this poison on to the youth that's coming up behind this joint right here. And y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Shout out to everybody, all my Pan-African brothers and sisters. Man, we're going to continue to fight until we unite like how our ancestors wanted us to. Yo, salute to everybody, man. May God bless.